Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy 2025. It's good to be back. I have not done a lecture in almost 2 years solo. The power of peptides. This lecture is not for the rookies. This lecture is more for the veteran patients and patients looking to take a newer angle at their health concerns. We are not replacing companies that we currently use with peptides. Standard process food research is the garden. Biotics research is the toolbox. Peptides are weapons. Weapons more that you're going to learn about tonight. Weapons come with an increased cost, but the goal isn't to sell you pills. The goal is to get you quicker, faster results using less pills. A little housekeeping first. We are all over social media. Pick your favorite platforms and follow along. 2025, new beginning. I decided to do a little bit of a social media detox myself. I've been off social media for the last 3 weeks. It's mentally clearing. It's nice to unplug a little bit. It's sad to see on a regular basis in the office the amount of anxiety and depression I treat with your children, and unfortunately some of social media is a big culprit. If you like what you hear tonight and you want a different opinion when it comes to your health, myself, Dr. Gill, Dr. Tent would like to virtually have an appointment with you. Regardless of where you are at and live, we ship everywhere. If you've been in our office, you know that we do lab draws now in the office. We were originally using Quest, but we had a little bit of a hiccup with Quest. So we switched back to LabCorp, which actually kind of works out a little bit better. They get their results back a lot faster, and for patients who are paying cash, they've always had a better cash price for the patients. We can use and write up requisition forms to help pay or get insurance to cover for some of the patients, but if not, they've always had a good cash price for our patients. These are some of the panels that we have set already and situated for patients to run. We could add, subtract, whatever. If you've got interest of certain panels you want to have added in, we could easily incorporate that as well. Let's define Medicare. Care that seeks to prevent disease, promote health, and prolong and enhance the quality of life is not considered medically necessary and therefore not payable. Pathetic. You are what you invest in your health, not what your insurance covers. I've got to give a shout out tonight to across the street from us, RMI. If you need advanced imaging, MRIs, ultrasounds, CAT scans, mammograms, x-rays, we do digital x-rays here, but they do them there as well. We get you covered across the street as well. We could write requisition forms to try to have your insurance cover those as well. But if not, they've got the best cash pricing for these imaging procedures if needed. And in the last year, I can tell you right now, I've had 5 patients that I've sent over there with some red flag stuff and have found cancer on them, including one today, unfortunately. So when it comes to your health, you're going to pay for things to get things done quicker. I could jump hoops for you, for the patients, instead of having to go to your primary, get a referral to a specialist, and waste time and have to keep going. We make things happen. If I need to make things happen, they're helping me with that. So big shout out to Dr. Saab, their crew, and RMI across the street. If you guys have had a good experience with us, we don't push you guys to, write reviews for us, but we do like to hear about them when we do come across them. If there's things that you want us to improve on, we want to improve on those as well, and we like constructive criticism as well. So if you guys have things that you want us to change or have some input, we'll gladly hear you out. My last lecture, February 2023, was an overview of the blood panels. This was all based on the Quest panels, but all these panels that we have with Quest, we just switched to LabCorp So if you go across that lecture and have things that you want to run, everything that we were doing with Quest, we're just doing with LabCorp now. Some of you guys may have asked, Dr. Jeff, where have you been? I've got 2 kids that play hockey, my 7-year-old, my 9-year-old, one's house, one's travel. I am married to the ice rink on the weekends, so to put these lectures together has been a challenge. I want to thank the back girls and especially Lauren helped me piece this together and get this lecture finally situated for you guys so you can learn more about peptides tonight. My oldest has a little 15 seconds of glory at Little Caesars Arena where the Red Wings played, doing a little shootout in front of the fans. That was pretty cool to experience. It's been a fun journey. I grew up playing hockey till about my teenage years. I didn't push them into this. This is something that they picked up and decided, hey, Dad, I want to do the most expensive sport possible. Here we go. Dr. Tent, Gill, and myself, we had a blast in Texas early October at the Functional Medicine Conference. A good time meeting and greeting, running into some old faces and hearing some lectures there. This is the DeLuca brothers of biotics, and you see Dr. Olery popping out right there as well too. Tell you a little bit of story about Dennis here and something that he got us doing in the office here in a second. Dr. Jack Wolfson was one of the lecturing doctors there. You may have known him, the paleocardiologist. I did a lecture on his book. It was awesome to see him speak in person, and watching him speak and seeing some of the other medical doctors kind of squirm in their seat a little bit with things he was saying was nice to see. We're wolves among sheep here. I came back with Texas with something I didn't have. No, not an STD. I've had strep. This has been one nasty year as far as respiratory conditions. Mycoplasma pneumonia, walking pneumonia, bronchitis, whooping cough, allergies, COVID, if you still want to call it COVID. I had this cough that, once in a while in the fall, I will get this cold that goes into bronchitis. I thought it was just this bronchitis type of cough. It kept lingering. It was a warm fall in Michigan, so I was like, oh my gosh, this has got to be allergy-based stuff, and I thought it was allergies. Cold weather came, still coughing. I'm like, my gosh, this is driving me nuts. My old childhood infection, strep, peeked back on me. This has been a strep-based cough. Strep can cause some of these issues, and I never had an issue with my ears or my throat. But Dr. Jeff, I thought you had to take antibiotics to get rid of strep. Not always. Not always. You're a patient of mine, and you know about the digestive urinary tonic, you know that you could get rid of this stuff around antibiotics. Talk about some possible upcoming lectures. This is a huge question mark. I was going to do a mini lecture series about the top 10 reasons people see a doctor. You see skin issues, joint problems, back problems, cholesterol, respiratory issues, anxiety, depression, neurological disorders, high blood pressure, headaches, diabetes. The amount of anxiety and depression that pops up in this office takes a mental health toll on ourselves. I kind of pulled the plug on this. I don't think I want to go in this direction just yet, but this is kind of what I had in mind. Instead, I'm going to do an overview of the functional medicine testing somewhere later spring. A lot of you guys still don't understand the amount of what I could offer as far as advanced testing within our office beyond the blood work stuff. And it's possible we may do another roundtable, Dr. Tent, Gill, myself. I might talk them into maybe doing more case study based roundtable on peptides with what we've introduced in office and going over certain case studies with these peptides as well. So that's a possibility. I really don't care if you're left-sided. I really don't care if you're right-sided. Honestly, I really don't give a crap about politics in general. But I think we could all agree that something's got to change at the Department of Health. I sure hope RFK can make some of those changes. He had an interesting tweet a few months back. FDA's war on public health is about to end. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics, peptides, stem cells, raw milk, hyperbaric therapies, chelating compounds, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, vitamins, clean foods, sunshine, exercise, nutraceuticals, and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by pharma. If you work for the FDA and are part of the corrupt system, I have two messages for you. Preserve your records and pack your bags. Strong words here. I hope things could change. Apparently, there's some type of blackout today with the FDA. I don't know too much about it other than hearing there was some type of blackout. Things are changing. We'll see. If your doctor prescribes you medications without first asking about your diet, sleep, exercise routine, water intake, whether you have any structural issues, the stress in your life, you don't have a doctor, you have a drug dealer. So when we were down in Texas, Dennis DeLuca, the head of Biotics Research, had this Stelo in his arm. He's not diabetic. He's a bit overweight the last few years. His diabetic friend talked him into getting one of these in his arm to watch his blood sugar and kind of monitor things that spikes his blood sugar. And he's, start watching his blood sugar over the year, monitoring these foods, cutting these foods out, change his diet around, lost weight dramatically in the last year or two, just keeping an eye on his blood sugar. We were really intrigued about this. In the state of Michigan right now, we are the only office carrying these Stelos in here, available for patients. They run about $105. Dr. Gill got on board right off the bat, put one of these things in his arm when he got back from this seminar back in Texas back in October. I started this late October, and it is amazing to see what was spiking my blood sugar. My blood sugar was still a roller coaster. I was doing 2 berberine a day. I got it dialed in, and you're going to learn later in this lecture with the peptides exactly what I did. But to see how cortisol spikes my blood sugar, see how a crappy night of sleep spikes my blood sugar, how caffeine sensitive I am, too much caffeine spikes my adrenaline, spikes my blood sugar, my food triggers, certain alcohols, foods, whatever. The amount that I learned in a matter of 2 weeks with this thing in my arm has been unbelievable. Smart health is where it's at. I've talked about the Oura rings and dialing in your sleep. I use the supplements to help dial my sleep with that Oura ring. Now I have dialed in my blood sugar by watching it and using the Stelo. You don't have to live with this thing in your arm. You just have to learn your patterns and your habits and see how foods affect you and dial it in. This has been one of the coolest things I have done. I absolutely love it. If you are on a weight loss journey and need help, this is something that you'd want to incorporate. Let's dive into this. Peptides. This is Dr. Silverman. I got to give a shout out to him through the FMU program. This is obviously an AI generated photo. He was my final push to finally get into peptides. It was rumored with the FDA that apparently they were going to take peptides off the market, so I didn't want to learn about them too much or get too heavily involved if they were going to wipe this stuff off the market. Apparently that was a rumor, and there was a company that was labeling things wrong on their bottle, so they're kind of going after them. So it had nothing to do with them taking things off the market, but it was a lecture that Dr. Silverman did talking about GI health and things that really got me more intrigued about incorporating them. That gave me the final push to get involved with them. He also introduced me to Healthgevity, which is the company that we're using for the peptides, cutting edge. And I think they're going to really lead the forefront when it comes to these peptides going forward as well. The company I was using beforehand, they were twice as expensive. This is definitely a better cash option for patients, and an awesome company so far with what we're doing and the results that we're getting. I'm going to let the CEO, Michael Antonelli, tell you guys a little bit more.
Welcome to Healthgevity. A little bit about our mission, what we're here to do, empowering you in your local community, is to help harness patients' hallmarks of aging. And by doing that, we're targeting aging as the root cause of chronic disease. We have an incredible team globally that's translating the latest science into ingredient selection, dosing, combinations that you're not going to find anywhere else. So here you're taking a look at just a sample of who Healthgevity is today, to set the tone about where we're going for the years to come.
I got to emphasize again, standard process food research is the garden, biotics research is the toolkit. Healthgevity peptides are absolute weapons. Let's learn more about these peptides. What are peptides? Short chain of amino acids, bioactive, bionatural, generally about 40 amino acids and under. When they're 40 amino acids and above, it becomes a protein. Sometimes they're natural, bioidentical, or synthetic. A combo of peptides signals the body to repair itself. It's like internal stem cell type treatment. How do they work? By binding to specific receptors on the surface of cells, a cascade of signaling events is triggered, ultimately leading to changes in gene expression and cellular function. Peptide therapy involves the use of synthetic, not always, to modulate specific signaling pathways in the body, the goal of treating various medical conditions like metabolic disorders, inflammation, and neurodegenerative conditions. Benefits of peptide therapy: improved athletic performance, weight loss and metabolic boost, reversal of aging effects, the neurodegenerative diseases, cognitive function. For you guys who are visual, got single amino acids, structured smaller amino acids, peptides, larger structure, proteins. I'm a visual person, visual learner myself. What are amino acids? There are 20 amino acids that make up proteins in the body. Here's a list of them, better seeing in the chart form. You got your essential, you got your non-essential ones. Essential ones are ones that you need, that your body cannot synthesize. So you need to get these and obtain them in your diet. If you're vegan, vegetarian, you better be getting these types of amino acids and proteins in your diet. What are proteins? 40 amino acids and above are proteins. They are used for building and repairing tissues in the body, used for enzymes, transporting molecules, and fighting diseases. BPC-157, here's our first peptide that we're going to talk about. This is the sole peptide that got me into using peptides and introducing them into our office here at DHS. I was using this about 2 years prior to bringing this into office, and the results I was getting with patients was unbelievable, to the point where I pulled Dr. Tent aside and I was like, man, I'm getting awesome results with this one peptide alone. I'm just super impressed with it. We've got to introduce it in the office and find a company that we like, that we want to incorporate to help out patients. And there was a lot of gut healing stuff. And one of Dr. Silverman's past lectures talking about gastritis, ulcer stuff, I decided to try taking a new angle at some of my gut patients, and patients that we have struggled with getting off their antacids like omeprazole, Zantac, and all that fun stuff. Been on the stuff for decades, and we just getting a nasty rebound effect, or have destroyed their stomach with the NSAIDs that just can't get off those antacids. In a matter of weeks, reversing things when we've been coating these stomachs with Gastrozyme, GI Resolve, chlorophyll, ochrapepsin, you name it. If I could coat the stomach with, we've hammered this stuff, and just this one peptide alone making a huge difference. So what is BPC-157? It's composed of 15 amino acids and was discovered and isolated from human gastric acid in 1993. It helps with inflammation, promotes healing in nearly all types of tissue, with benefits for the gut, brain, skin, muscles, and joints. Supports recovery in degenerative joint conditions, and its protective effects on the heart, preventing and treating issues like arrhythmia, heart failure, Lyme-related heart issues. Also helps with neuropathic pain, provides protection against neurotoxins and endotoxins, and has a strong antimicrobial property. This is awesome. They term this the Swiss Army knife of peptides. May promote muscle and tendon healing. Honestly, the weightlifters have been ahead of the doctors forever. They've been using this stuff way before the doctors have, as far as shoulder issues, rip tear pull type injuries. They've been on top of this BPC-157 forever because they are the ones who are incorporating a ton of this for those types of injuries. May protect organs from toxins and damage, may reduce inflammation, may benefit inflammatory bowel disease, which you'll hear some cases shortly about that. May help with healing burns, cuts, broken bones, may protect the brain and nervous system, may help in healing stomach ulcers. You'll hear more about that as well. May help in reversing damage with NSAIDs as far as the GI complaints, help with pain and blood pressure conditions. If you were to use one peptide alone and experiment with one, this is the one peptide. Common uses: healing and regenerative properties, GI complaints, neuroprotective effects, cardiovascular, immune modulating effects. This is an awesome, awesome peptide. So Healthgevity's composition of this here, you got BPC-157 by itself. We carry the BPC with the PEA. The PEA helps down-regulate inflammation a bit more. So you got your 157, you got the PEA. The snack component in here is a transporter. It helps it get past the stomach acid and helps be absorbed better and utilized in the body. There are injectable forms of peptides and there's oral form. Having that snack component in there helps the body absorb it and be utilized more efficiently. I get just as good as results with the oral form as I've had patients that have referred out to Chicago with a doctor who does the injectable forms with this as well. So I've got no problem with either or. We choose to do the oral form with these. BPA's endogenous fatty acid amide has the ability to resolve inflammation and cellular stress. It just downregulates more inflammation. Effects and indications, if you want to read more about that. Our next peptide I want to talk about, KPV. This is lysine, proline, valine. Has strong abilities to reduce inflammation, balance the immune system, fight infections. It works against viruses, bacteria, fungus. Being much stronger than a common antifungal medication, diflucan, when it's used in a much smaller dose. It also works alongside the body's natural immune defense and antibiotics. It works against the literature with these two pathogens, staph and candida, is amazing. So when you think about KPV in this peptide here, you think anti-staph, anti-yeast, anti-inflammation, heals up leaky gut. That is the main things that this peptide works with. Balances cytokine inflammation, immune modulation, antimicrobial effects, stabilizes mast cell inflammation, supports reduction of chronic pain and inflammation, promotes gut health and function. Case studies is where this is at. Telling you guys, I could chat with all these products and whatnot, but the cases is where it's really going to be at, and the timing of them as well too. This was a patient. I wish I got pictures of the rash and everything that she had going on. Patient in her late 20s. She had GI problems, symptoms of throwing up and pain, weight loss, nausea. She had some thrush on her tongue and a low-grade fever. She just had this nasty rash. We had her on the KPV to start off with. It was all the KPV initially with this. Coating her stomach with two of the other things here, but the KPV was the one that made a big difference. She came back in, everything was 100%. She said everything cleared up in 2 days. 2 days. She couldn't believe it. It was really cool. And I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt for not having a picture of rash that she had on her body with all this. So we chatted about BPC-157. We chatted about the peptide, the KPV. Mentioned PEA with the downregulation of inflammation. Put them both together in one bottle, you're going to get faster, quicker results. Improves gut health, keeps inflammation in check, supports the immune system, fights germs, reduces long-term pain and swelling, helps muscles and tissues heal faster after injury. Here's a gentleman, mid-30s, male. He had a really, really bad herniated disc. He's destroyed his stomach over the years with too much ibuprofen, Motrin, Tylenol stuff. So his stomach hurts, his back is bad. He had an appointment with Dr. Richards, which is Dr. Sue's second-hand man since he retired. I sent him out because I thought for sure he was going to have back surgery. I was trying to obtain a picture of his MRI to show you how herniated his back was or how herniated his disc was in his back, but I couldn't get it last minute here. Between the adjustments and the peptides, I've stabilized his back to the point where his doctor's like, you don't need back surgery. What this guy's doing with the Innova, he's got you stabilized. I'm satisfied with it. Keep going with it. On top of it, that peptides help stabilize his back with the adjustments, but I have healed up his stomach lining. He has no more stomach pain. How many pills do I get him on? Two peptides, and I dropped that down to 1. You do not need to load up on these peptides to get the results with this. This is what's awesome. He was just in this week. He's doing awesome. He cannot believe it. Now we get to work on some other cool stuff with him. This patient, she's in her late 20s. She's a female, interstitial cystitis, chronic bladder pain. She's been to multiple doctors. Like everyone else, I'm the last resort. We were fixing some other digestive stuff with her, constipation and whatnot. I had her on the BPC, KPV with the PEA. She's got no more bladder pain. 0 bladder pain. And she's been to everyone for this. This was a really cool case because, my gosh, these cases can be an absolute nightmare to really kind of figure out, but it's been really, really cool with this. I got to emphasize this. The date, November 4th, 24, November 25th. This is not that long. She has not been on this for months. This is short period stuff here. This patient is as old as Dr. Tent because she, I believe, grew up with him or went to school with him and has been a patient at this office for about as long as he's been in practice. Patient believes she may have an ulcer or abscess in her stomach. I believe she had an ulcer. She is a stressed out person. Her kids stopped talking to her, and she internalizes the stress to her stomach that pushes her into ulcer-like activity. She has spent over $1,000 plus or more over the decades of being a patient here to go after her stomach. One peptide, BPC, KPV, 11, 22, 24, 12, 13, 24, 90% better. This, after doing this 2 years on the side before bringing this into office, this type of case was the main reason I'm like, this is going to be in this office and we are going to help people to get them off these antacids. When you're on these long-term antacid medications, it blocks your stomach acid. You are not breaking down your proteins. You're not absorbing your minerals. You shut off your immune system in your gut. You're not absorbing B12. It's a short-term answer, but it's not a long-term solution. So keep that in mind. Ulcerative colitis. Now I'm going after the big dogs. So this gentleman was male in his 30s. Calprotectin is the main level. If you have irritable bowel disease, ulcerative colitis, or Crohn's, that they're going to look at that calprotectin level. And you're going to see these ranges. If it's above 120, they're going to scope you and try to rule out if you got colitis and bleeding and that issue going on in your gut. This guy has been on Remicade. He's built resistance to it. He's trying to avoid biologics like that. So we did the BPC with the KPV, and he did a mild steroid enema. So I cannot take 100% credit on this, but between those two things, he's dropped his calprotectin 700 to 179 in that time frame and has been able to avoid the hardcore medications. This was last minute. Today's Wednesday. This was just Friday. I was a little too lazy to add some extra slides of a case in here, but I had a gentleman that his calprotectin, this guy comes up from Ohio to see me. His calprotectin level was at high 400s, and I got it down to 50 in 1 to 2 months on 0 medications, and 100% it was all the BPC with the KPV that I used to get his back in range. He was completely stunned. It was just awesome. Oh, it's asymptomatic, doing good, very cool stuff, absolutely cool stuff. So we've got new peptides to kind of help out with your weight loss journey. Ignite Plus, this is one of our top sellers with the peptide stuff here. DNF-10, this is a peptide to help suppress your appetite. Mitoburn is a fat burner. Factor 5, bitter melon, is anti-diabetic, anti-tumor, antioxidant, anti-inflammation. It's got 4 other anti-diabetic components in here. One that I really want to put strong emphasis on is dihydroberberine. If you're in the functional medicine world, you know that we talk about regular berberine all the time, but the functional medicine world is moving more to dihydroberberine as being the optimal form with getting better results, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a few slides. But this is going to help with weight loss support because it reduces adipose tissue and visceral fat, increases thermogenesis by raising metabolic rate and calorie burning, browning of white tissue, adipose tissue, prevents diet-induced weight gain, increases fatty acid oxidation, and ramps up ketone levels, and obviously the blood sugar support. DNF-10, this is a patent ingredient with proven mechanism of action. Reduces calorie intake after the first few weeks, weight loss after the first month of supplementation, weight loss in the form of fat mass. I gotta stress that, weight loss from reduction of fat mass. Abdominal fat and waist circumference significantly decrease. No adverse side effects. This talks a little bit more about 135 subjects that they had with this and the results. I'm using this product myself. I've paired this with the Stello. This Ignite and the dihydroberberine was key to get the roller coaster out of my blood sugar and more stable with this. So when I incorporate this peptide, the first thing I saw is less roller coaster with the glucose. The second thing I noticed is thinning in the hard middle section. Like I said, you will notice more visceral fat loss first before you see the number change on the scale. I'm at a pretty ideal weight for myself, so I don't see huge fluctuations on the scale, but I can definitely tell in the midsection that has shrunk. So when you look at this and you're pairing things with the seller, going after this with the weight loss journey thing, keep that in mind. Your glucose, if you're watching yourself, that's going to normalize out first, visceral fat second, the scale changes third. Some people notice weight loss in a month or two or a week or two with this. That's cool. That's not everyone. This is the more natural form of Ozempic minus the side effects. This pill is pretty cool. Why dihydroberberine? 5 times better absorption in the body, increases berberine levels in the blood more effectively, twice the half-life, improves blood sugar and fat metabolism more effectively, fewer gut-related side effects. A lot of our other berberines, a lot of people complain about loose bowel movements or stomach pains. This one should not be doing that if you've had those side effects with the other ones. Requires a much lower dose to achieve the same benefit. That's pretty cool because I was doing about 1,000 milligrams of the regular berberine. I was still up and down. This one here, a lot more stable. I've been super impressed with it. Berberine in general helps with the diabetic issues, pre-diabetic factors, obesity, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, hyperlipidemia. You know, my blood sugar, you know, my lipids over the years I chat about with you guys are up and down. I got to go after the glucose more because when my glucose is up, that gets worse like most people. So that's what I use it more for. If you had hard time controlling your gout, this needs to be part of your regimen. These metabolic syndrome patients and their gout flare-ups, this form is what I'm going to start using more with my gout patients as well. I can't emphasize enough, lowering your blood sugar. You don't have to live with this thing on your arm. I took mine off last week. I'm going to get another one put on tomorrow for another 2 weeks, but I got my blood sugar dialed in. I got the roller coaster out of there. Here's 70, here's 40. I'm keeping mine there. It's amazing how a little medium latte will send me to the moon and back. I have learned to dial my blood sugar in with the supplements, exercise, and everything. I feel amazing. I'm lazy, I'm unmotivated. I've had a hard time getting down in the basement and pushing myself to do my normal workouts. My kids are older. I decided to try something different. Someone told me about Orange Theory. They opened one by me in South Lyon. I'm a founding member now, and I absolutely love it. It's the type of training I love, the circuit-based training between treadmill, water rower, weight circuit type stuff, and it's amazing. The cool thing about it is it's heart rate training, and you're trying to keep your heart rate in the orange zone for 12 to 20 minutes to get the most benefit. It has been very, very cool. I feel amazing doing it. Just something different. Is our hardcore workouts. So I'm working harder on my post-workout recovery. For you athletes out there, this is something newer that we're carrying at the office. Prime Strength. These are peptides from fava beans. Peptides from fava beans outperforms whey protein in every single category. Helps enhance muscle protein synthesis, reduce inflammation, and lower myostatin levels. Also has creatine in there, helps improve strength and endurance. I only do this on my workout days. That's my main protocol. I feel amazing. I'm using all this stuff so I can give you guys clinical feedback myself. Brain boost, energy, focus, drive. Organic lion's made, the peptides alpha GPC, N-acetyl L-tyrosine, paraxanthine, L-theanine. It's caffeine free, provides clean energy without crash, jitters, or tolerance buildup, supports dopamine production, helps with cognitive performance, provides neural protection, assists in reducing fatigue, provide consistent results for fast and slow caffeine metabolizers, reducing caffeine's genetic variability. Well, who's this peptide? Who's this pill for? This is for all the brains that are absolutely cooked. Too much social media, too much alcohol, too much marijuana, too much medications. You overdid Adderall, too much pornography. Dr. Gills had great results with post-COVID brain, or long COVID, post-COVID brain fog issues. This is for your ADD. This is for your ADHD. This is for your dementia patients. This pill is awesome. If it weren't for this pill, I don't know if I would have put this lecture together for you guys, because my motivation to put lectures together has been far and few lately, unfortunately. Benefits of lion's mane. Dr. Ten's been going nuts about the mushrooms in general. Helps increase neuroplasticity, making new brain connections, protects brain cells and boosts your mood, acts as a powerful antioxidant to help damage in the brain, improves memory, learning, focus by helping grow new cells, especially in the areas important for memory. Helps with mood and can reduce anxiety, acting like a natural antidepressant by balancing brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine. Here's the peptide, alpha GPC. It's quickly absorbed into the blood, where it helps your brain make acetylcholine, a chemical that helps messages travel between nerve cells. This makes your brain work faster and more efficiently, improving cognitive abilities like focus and memory. Dementia. Low acetylcholine levels. Normal brain, high acetylcholine levels. This pill has been awesome. I feel great incorporating this personally myself. N-acetyl L-tyrosine. This is a modified form of the amino acid L-tyrosine, which helps the body produce important brain chemicals like dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. These neurotransmitters play a key role in improving mood, focus, attention, and cognitive function, while also helping the body manage stress. Paraxanthine. This is the part that's really cool. Paraxanthine is the main product that caffeine turns into in the body. It is a stronger neuroprotective substance than caffeine. It acts as a psychostimulant, helping to increase brain activity. The chart form actually will help you see this a bit better. People that are craving caffeine, they love the caffeine. This goes including me. Caffeine helps me focus. I love my caffeine boost. We're trying to get the paraxanthine. The problem with caffeine is some people are slow metabolizers, some are fast metabolizers. So some people don't really get the benefit of the caffeine, that focus aspect. But with this paraxanthine and this brain boost supplement, you will, because you're getting you're getting a component right there, so you're not going to have the side effects that caffeine will get you if you have adverse issues with that, because not everyone can metabolize the caffeine properly. And here's some of the paraxanthine versus caffeine components when you compare them side by side. Michael Antonelli did a good job with a lot of his slides. I got a lot of copy-paste slides with him, but just trying to really break these things down to simpler forms for you guys to explain here. And the literature is heavy on this stuff. You look up these things that we're mentioning, they're on top of the science with a lot of these things that they're incorporating here. And, you know, chatting about the AI stuff earlier, they're cutting edge. They are incorporating AI to even help generate certain formulas for their company as well. So it's really interesting to see where this whole AI stuff's going to go in the future in general. So many people have got TikTok brain. Like I said, I decided to cut out for a few weeks starting 2025 here. And it's just, if you find yourself just worthlessly scrolling through stuff, your screen time's way up, it's time to unplug a little bit. The anxiety, the depression, the zero motivation in people, your brains are cooked. If you want a cool, quick brain reset protocol, I promise you, I will get you to think different in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, give me 2 weeks. The Core Restore 7-Day Kit, Brain Boost 2 a day, replenish your B vitamins 4 to 6 a day. 2 weeks, I promise you, I could get you to think different. Serenity, mood, stress, relaxation. Supports a healthy stress response, supports a calming mood and relaxation, helps maintain healthy cortisol levels during everyday stress and resolving the irritability that ruins the day, helps with the GABA production, promotes good sleep as far as the REM and non-REM cycle sleep. It has holy basil, L-theanine. It has the microbiome germ to help keep the GABA levels in your body, and saffron. L-theanine, this is also in the brain boost, helps. This is calm clarity. It helps specifically with GABA, really. Helps keep the GABA levels up in the body. Holy basil. Big thing that is used to kind of help keep the cortisol levels down. And I tell you what, the more and more I am running the saliva cortisol testing, and you'll hear more about that when I talk about more of the functional medicine testing stuff that I run in the office. People have such dysfunctional cortisol levels. It's unbelievable. And I promise you, if you have any hormonal issues you're trying to fix in your body, if you have elevated cortisol and you don't fix that, all this hormonal imbalance will never be fixed until you fix cortisol in the body. So how do you know if this product, Serenity, is going to be beneficial for you or not? Well, obviously we want you to feel more calm and feel good in general. Measure things. Like I said, smart health is where it's at. I've chatted about this Oura Ring forever. I have dialed in my sleep using this Oura Ring. Lithium orotate and magnesium threonate work the best for me. I don't have a busy brain where I can't shut it off to go to sleep, but that combo of lithium and magnesium worked phenomenal for me because I measure it. I see that my heart rate drops. I see my increased REM and all that non-REM cycle sleep and the deep sleep and whatnot. When I did the Serenity, I didn't see huge changes with it, but if you are someone who's analytical and want to measure things, use the Serenity, measure it with the Oura Ring. I like the Oura Ring because it doesn't throw off EMF like your Apple Watches and some of these other devices that you guys are using. Some of the newer versions of these things can measure your oxygen level and may help you determine if there's some issues with sleep apnea. It's not ideal, but if you do snore and you think that there's some sleep apnea issues, watch Pat 1 is what you need to do and run. This is how I found out, determined I had some degree of sleep apnea. Sleepdoctor.com. This device runs about $179. You download the app on your phone. You put this on your hand and clamp that there. When you go to sleep, you hit start when you go to sleep. You hit stop when you wake up. You have a quick Zoom meeting before and after to go over your sleep report. And they'll tell you if you have mild to moderate to severe apnea, and then you can get a device if you need something from there. Not always would you need a device. I do have dentists that I refer to and patients who are, I got a dentist patient of mine that does the mouth apparatus, mouth guard to help with sleep apnea as well. So that's another option as well. But there's a lot of people not getting quality sleep that could fix it. If your CO2 levels are high in your blood work and or you're having morning headaches or feeling groggy, there may be issues of sleep apnea. This is a simple way to rule things out. All right. Cardio NAD Plus. The famous Dr. Joel Kahn of Michigan formulated this product. It has a lot of great components in here. Niacin, copper, bergamot, fruit extract, NAD3, CoQ10, peptides from lentils, nattokinase. You can see the feature supported benefits on the side there. In simple terms, this product is used to help increase oxygen in the body, nitric oxide production in the body, lower blood pressure, and lower some of your lipids, your cholesterol. I do not have enough clinical feedback on this one yet. So if you are a heart patient and struggling with some of those factors, this may be something to incorporate into your regimen, but going forward and when we do the roundtable or some of my future lectures, I will have more case studies to talk about on this product. This NAD plus is a newer component that they're talking about for the whole longevity thing and, you know, keeping your arteries more youthful and younger. This is a cool product. This has 2 peptides in here, thymosin beta-4 fragment and thymogen. If you see this pill, these are thymus-based peptides. I want you to think autoimmune, cancer, chronic bacterial or viral issues, things like CMV, Epstein-Barr virus, long COVID, Lyme, things like that. This is our newer route to kind of tackle some of these immune. We're going to rebuild your immune system with this pill right here. What is TB4 frag? It's 43 amino acids long and has multiple domains that code for different and overlapping functions. Has 10 times the potency of immune modulating effects. Does not stimulate mast cell activation, penetrates the brain-blood barrier, or crosses it better and penetrates biofilms there. Protection, repair, regeneration. You see the thymus gland is located there. After 12 years of age, it atrophies and doesn't produce T cells afterwards. So these thymus-based peptides, pretty cool to help rebuild things here. Thymogen, it acts as an antioxidant to help modulate cellular and immune response, also conductive to normalization of lymphocyte counts, absolute counts of T cells and B cell lymphocytes, increase T cell lymphocyte functional activity. So you have white blood cells and other counts in your CBC that are off, and we've struggled trying to get them to turn the corner, and astragalus and things like that aren't getting at it. This is probably an angle we are going to take with you guys. Prime Gut Health. This has serum-derived immunoglobulin components in here, and this is a spore-based probiotic blend. You can see the benefits listed on the side there. This is a different, we carry a few different probiotics, but this one's different because it is a spore-based probiotic. Spore-based probiotics are more resistant to stomach acid, heat, and other environmental challenges than regular probiotics. This part's really cool. Serum-derived bovine immunoglobulin, abbreviated as SBI. This SBI binds to all of these pathogens in the gut. I'm going to Mexico next month for a vacation. Guess what probiotic I will be taking when I go down to Mexico? And I think it's going to be this one. Case studies, it's where it's at. This lady, I forget how old she was. She probably was early 60s. She was diagnosed with C. diff. The doctors wanted to do a fecal implant with her, take someone else's crap in their gut and put it in her gut to stabilize her gut. I told her, give me some time. I've had some results with this in the past. One of the things I used in the past didn't work with her this time. I would normally combine both our probiotics, the ProSymbiotic and the ClearLab probiotic, together, and I wasn't able to get her gut stabilized. It wasn't until I put her on this Prime Gut Health that I stabilized her enough to where her doctor said, keep going. You are not a candidate for going forward with this fecal implant procedure. Let's see. Telomere Prime. This is another one that I need more clinical feedback with. It's got cat's claw in here. It's got sulfuric compounds, buckwheat peptides, and some other fancy stuff. Michael Antonelli of Healthgevity could explain some of these technical components pretty good compared to me. If you think of this product here, Telomere Prime, I want you to think of DNA repair. DNA repair. I want you to really break down one component to this, the cat's claw. DNA repair and telomere repair, immune support, immune system support, anti-inflammatory effects, repairs neural damage from overexposure to high decibel noise. Cat's claw holds 3 patents: increasing telomere length, DNA repair, and treating auditory dysfunction. All this ringing in the ear, which I highly believe is EMF related with a lot of patients. This might be the next pill for you guys to try. Here is the peptide pricing of everything I went through. I just want to emphasize the company I was using before, still getting good results, was double the price on this stuff. We understand there's a cost to this stuff. If it is an issue, be upfront with us so we know that. And if it is, and you still want to use things, use it at a minimal dose. One pill a day, one pill every other day. These work good. Why peptides? Why peptides? Targeted treatment. Fewer side effects, promotes healing, improves metabolism, boosts muscle growth and repair, supports brain health, anti-aging effects, immune support. Support local always. With the Lord to my right, I will not be shaken. I promise you guys, I will always be on the forefront of fighting for you guys and your health, even if it's not the popular route. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's lecture. Peace.